Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go over how you're going to make a decision on which Mac to buy that's more tailored towards you. So you're going to have a few questions that you need to ask yourself. Do I need this to be portable? Do I not need to be portable? Am I planning to do gaming on it? Am I planning to do video editing? Is there going to be some hardcore activity on your Mac or not? So these are very important questions you need to decide right away before we go through all these options you're going to go through right now. And then, of course, the most important thing is your budget. So I'm going to go over the things that you should consider, and I want you to really focus on exactly the words I'm telling you, because a lot of people fall into this trap and they don't know how to make that decision. Number one, do you need this to be portable or not? That is the most important question. The reason why I'm telling you this is because if you decide not to go portable, if you decide to go like a Mac Mini or iMac or Mac Pro or whatever, you have a lot more options which could be cheaper and more powerful. The minute you decide to go into a more portable side, you're going to limit yourself in certain ways. You're going to limit power, as in how well I can do gaming, how well I can do video editing and so on the road. And you're going to limit, of course, the cost is going to be significantly higher as you're trying to get to the desktop performance. So that's the first question you're going to ask. If you're going to say, well, 80-90% of the time I'm going to be at home, I don't need to take it with me, great. We can focus on the Mac options rather than the laptop options. So we're going to go through this first question. Let's say you want it to be portable. So if you want it to be portable, you have really, I'm going to say two options, but there's four options. So option number one, the 12-inch MacBook. Don't get this. I can link in the description. You're gonna see the performance of the MacBook 12-inch. It's terrible in every single aspect of it, and it's mostly because of this, the Intel Graphics 615, which is eons generations in the backend performance and 1.3 gigahertz CPU for $1,600. It's ridiculous. It's not going to, even if you're thinking that you're going to take this on the road with you, even if you're thinking, I can take this to school, this is very fragile, it's going to bend, it's going to break, and it's going to cost you plenty. You're better off actually going with an older model MacBook Pro, say 2015 or even 2016, 2017, but they have their own problems, which I will discuss soon, then go with this option. This is not a good option. There's going to be a description there's going to be a link in the description. You can see the performance of this. Don't get this. Then you have the MacBook Air. Also terrible. Almost as terrible. In fact, if you look at the graphics, the 617 versus 615, if you think you're going to get a big boost, you're not. There's also a video I did a review on it compared to gaming to other ones. Also, look at the price. It's actually more cheaper than the 12-inch. And they're both just as terrible. The pricing does not make any sense whatsoever. You don't want this. Don't get the MacBook Pro, don't get the MacBook Air, don't get the MacBook 12-inch. These aren't good options for your money. But the value you're going to get is not a good option. Even if you're thinking to take this on the road, it's not a good idea. You're much better getting an older model MacBook Pro 13-inch than get either the Air or the 12-inch. You don't believe me? Please check out the videos. I'll put them in the description. So now let's move to the real options. We chose the option, we're going to go portable. So now I have the MacBook Pro 13-inch or 15-inch. Okay, the 13-inch is portable-ish. The 15-inch is not. Trust me, I went with a 15-inch for almost a year on my backpack every day, going to school, going to work. It's gonna hurt. It's heavy with the power brick. It's just not the experience, and most of the time you're gonna be on the road. Unless you're a video editor and you need that performance on the road, like a wedding, you want to, if you're a video wedding editor and you're doing it on the road and you want to give them on the spot, it doesn't make sense to take a 15-inch with you unless you want to stay at home to the majority of the time. So we're going to discuss quickly the 13-inch before we move to the 15-inch. Now, look at these pricing compared to the MacBook Air or the MacBook. 15, 1600, 1400. So this is in the same ballpark. So why would you ever get the weaker, crappier MacBook when you can go with the Pro 13-inch? First, you're getting a better CPU. You're getting a much better video card. And I think the standard, all of them are still 8 gig. So that at least has improved. So you're better off picking this one, and if you really want to get a little bit better boost, you'll get with 655, $1,800. This is what I would recommend, even though I would tell you please upgrade the hard drive first. I'm going to discuss those options with you first. So when you're picking a Mac, it has to go in this option. First, the most important thing is the storage, then the RAM, then the CPU. It has to be in this order, and I'll explain to you why. Your MacBook, your portable MacBook, again, portable MacBook, defeats the purpose if you have to grab one of those external SSDs with you all the time, which you bang it through anything and you damage it and you lose your data. It has to be portable. 256 is not really enough. If I tell you just from my iPhone taking pictures, even if I was stupid enough to take it in 4K, video in 4K and pictures at the highest resolution, you're gonna fill up. Check out how much storage you have just in photos and videos on your iPhone right now. If you turn on the feature, which most people would do, either video streaming or picture streaming, which means all the photos you taken will be synchronized to your photo application on your Mac. It's going to get to here, it's going to fill up your computer very fast. If you ever plan on looking at pictures or having pictures on your computer, because where else are you going to store them from your iPhone? You're going to grab a hard drive, plug in a computer and put an external hard drive and remember to do it on a daily basis? No. You have the streaming on, it automatically backs up to your Mac. So you need that storage. Any other stuff you want to do, you want to put games, that's a few 100 gigs right there. You want to put iTunes, put some videos, some shows you want to watch, there you go. You're not going to have enough disk space. I would go at least 512 for it to be usable. The second thing you have to consider is the RAM. The reason why I'm telling you the RAM more than CPU is because the RAM, I'm not going to just tell you about Google Chrome, which sucks all your RAM, but and generally speaking, your video card doesn't have dedicated memory on those 13-inch. So it's stealing about 1.5 gig out of your 8 gig just for the video card. So you're actually running with a lot less RAM on your laptop. So if you try to do several things multitask, you're going to fill up that RAM very quickly. In gaming, it won't make a big difference, a little bit, but generally speaking, when you're multitasking, it's going to give you a much higher performance than the CPU. The CPU, honestly, if you move from the i5 to the i7, and I've also have a video showing that if you're rendering a 4K video, let's say a 5-minute long video, it's going to be the difference between finishing in 9 minutes or finishing in 7 minutes and 30 seconds. That minute and a half is not going to be a deal breaker for you, considering how much you're going to be paying for those upgrades. So let me show you here, for example. Let's say I pick this one, starting already at $1,800. The minute I want to upgrade and look, the CPU $300, doesn't make sense. The minute I upgrade the storage, $200, and if you still have any more money left, I'll upgrade the RAM. I wouldn't touch this. Jumping from 2.3 to 2.7 $300 is not worth the money. I'm telling you. This is what I would choose. It would cost me about, where is the option here? It would cost me about, it doesn't even tell me anymore. So, okay, I don't know why it's not listing for me. But it would cost me a few $400, so it would be around $2,100, give or take. Now, is that the best for your value for a 13-inch? Yes, that's what I would pick. That's how I would keep it. Now, moving on, let's say that you do need more power and you do have more money. You can move to the 15-inch. Now, the 15-inch, the advantage you have over here is the dedicated video card. Now, I want to explain this, why this is important. The majority of your hardcore activity is your video card. What I mean by hardcore? Gaming, it's your video card. The CPU won't make that much of a difference. If this was an i5 or i7, the video card is doing the hard lifting. Video editing, same thing. It's going to be the biggest difference in anything to do with video editing, anything to do with rendering. It's your video card. So your biggest difference is going to be your video card. So if you grab the base model of the 15-inch, this one, so about approximately $200 more than the 13-inch, you're set. You don't have to do anything more than upgrade the storage. So if you really want to have something that's going to be future-proof for the next, I don't know, let's say 5 years, the only thing I would do is upgrade the storage, nothing else. That's it. Add another $200 and you're set to go. So that's the configuration I would put 15-inch. Again, money is the issue. So again, hard drive, RAM, CPU, in this order. Now, we talked about everything quote unquote portable, even though I don't think the 15 inch is really portable. The 15 inch is mostly, you know, 50-75% of the time I'm going to be at home on my desk, whether I'm going to plug it into a screen or not. And the other 15, 20, 30% of the time I might go to a friend's house. You know, it's not really a laptop you put on your lap, honestly. It's going to be going from one table to another. I wouldn't take this to school. They're actually easily damageable. I can show you what I've done to the other laptops I have, just simple bang. I would put a gigantic case on this, which makes it even more bulkier. So is it really portable at this stage? I don't think so, but that's your decision. Now here's what I would advise, okay, before I want to move to the non-portable option. If you're getting a MacBook Pro 13 inch or 15 inch 2016 2015, they have a keyboard issue. This keyboard issue would cost about $500 US to replace out of warranty, out of the Apple Care. Now they recently added the keyboard service. You can see here, also the links will be in the description, where it would cover the butterfly keyboard issue, where you have dust goes under the keys and you click, nothing happens, or on certain corners of that key it doesn't work. Sometimes if they cannot clean it, they have to replace the whole case. There's a repair for it now. Apparently it doesn't cost you any more money to repair it, but that's something to consider for the 16-17. The 18 model has another issue which called FlexGate, where you can see that after many uses of the Mac, if you open it enough, it turns off the backlight. And that's something to do with the hinge. Also the description put there. There is no repair program for that, and as you can see, it's $600 worth of repair. So consider that for the 2018. So each one seems to have a problem with the, this is specifically 13 inch, but we don't know if it's affected 15 inch yet, but here, these are the models that seems to be affected, which could also be your 16. So that's a new problem, but you know, that's the risk of getting a MacBook. So now I want to tell you about what I believe is the best option you can have for a non-mobile Mac, considering the price. I would pick the Mac Mini, the new one, 6-core. And even if you keep it at 256, that's fine, because you're going to connect it to an external drive after. If you really want, what you could do, the RAM you can upgrade it later. You don't have to do that now. It'll cost you too much with Apple. You can upgrade it through a third party. You can upgrade the CPU. You don't need to, but you could. The storage isn't that important in this case. You would go 56 if you want to, but again, you would have external drives connected to it. So you have an option between either go the storage or the CPU or both. And even if you click both, you're still at a very reasonable price. So I want you to think about that, because now we're starting from $1,000 and adding about $400 more. So that's still significantly cheaper than every other option we talked about. Now you're going to say, what about gaming? This is the, you know, it's a crappy Intel video card. Yes, that's true. But remember where we're starting at. We're starting about $1,100. If I don't upgrade anything more at this stage, if I want to add my RAM later on, which would cost me half the cost of what Apple charged me, so about $100 to double my memory, and the CPU is fine. 6-core, i5, fantastic. You don't care more than that, because remember, the heavy lifting is on your GPU. I will get a Razer Core X for about $400. This is Canadian dollars, so in US dollars, I think it's about $300, $299 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's about $300. So you can get that one. You can pay another $200, get an RX 580. You can get any of these. I will go with the Sapphire. They're far better than all the other competition because they stay cool. Get a Razer Core X. So that's $200, $300 plus $200. That's $500. Plus your $1,000. Now you are about $1,700, which is still cheaper than any of the options we talked about, the 15 or 13 inch. Now at that stage, I have a killer machine. I have a 6-core, either i5 or i7. Storage is not an issue because I can add as many external storage as I want, since it's sitting on my desk. I have a very powerful video card. It's not going to throttle. It's going to stay all the hardcore on, and I can always upgrade this. I can add more RAM. I can change the GPU. And this will be set for a very long period of time. You wouldn't have to upgrade this for a very long time. That's the advantage. And you can always, again, like I said, upgrade the you can upgrade the RAM. You can, you know, change the storage, even though I don't think you can change the storage for that specific one, because I'm not sure if there's a video for that. Maybe you can go to 6, but again, that's the best option. If you decide to go, for example, an iMac, it is going to be in the same ballpark as we're looking at the on the Mac Mini, except that I can't really upgrade this. Yes, the RAM is very hard to upgrade apparently. The hard drive, I don't know if you've ever seen some videos of upgrading the hard drive or changing the hard drive on the iMac. It's hell. Video card is good, non-upgradable. I mean, so you're getting the same thing as the Mac Mini, but you have no option in really upgrading this in any form of the matter. So, of course, it comes with a big screen, which is good, but again, you're limited on what you can do in the future. So this is not future-proof. The other one is. So yeah, I want to mention that the Mac Mini will not come with a screen. You have to buy your own screen, but you can get a fancy, you know, gaming 120 megahertz refresh rate screen for $200. So it will still be in the same ballpark as the iMac, and it would be far more powerful, far cooler, far more affordable. You can expand it, you can upgrade it, you can upgrade the RAM, you can add more storage, you can, you know, you can change put a GTX 2070, 2080. So you have all these options with this. It makes the most sense for your dollar. Now, what else option you have? You're not going to go with the iMac Pro, which is just a ridiculous amount of cash, you know, and also you can't really upgrade it. So that's not really an option. So these are the decision making you have to make. So these are what I told you here. These are different programs for repairs that they have, and hopefully they'll add one for the, you know, FlexGate, the new gate that you have in here, so it'll be supported. So that's the thing I want you to consider. So I want you to think about this. I'm sure I'm gonna have a lot of questions for this video. So please ask them in the comments, and I will answer every single one of your questions as fast as possible, so I can give you the best advice I can. But I want you to remember this. So you have to ask yourself the following questions. Question number 1. Do I need this to be portable or not? Do I need this to be powerful or not? These are the main questions that's going to really play around, because it makes a gigantic difference. If you're thinking, I want my Mac to do everything, you're not going to make a good decision. Your ideal is either get a very powerful Mac, which you can upgrade, which you can, you know, future-proof it for many years, or you just want something portable with very light amount of gaming. You know, a 13-inch MacBook Pro would do just fine. You're not going to be doing hours of raiding on World of Warcraft on a 13-inch. Doesn't make sense. If you're there to do dailies, if you're there to do, you know, the minimum 15, 20, half an hour that you need when you're on the road, you're traveling, yes, get the 13-inch Pro. 15-inch doesn't make sense. If you're going to be at home doing all the heavy lifting, that's the option I would go for, the Mac Mini, and add all these external things that I told you about. So again, please subscribe. I really appreciate it. If I have any questions, put them in the comments. I'll answer every single one of them. And thank you very much, and see you in the next video.